Hey,
How's it going?
good. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Nice and full of some roughage eatery food. So
Oh,
yeah, kind of ready for bed.
nice. I didn't expect you to actually say yes to this. Actually,
Yeah, of course. I always love talking pretty much whatever.
yeah, nice, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What did you do today, basically?
What did I do? I was at work all day
Mm-hmm.
and then came home, had
Yeah,
roughage. Then I'm doing this. After that, I might arrange some of those guys.
that's a big collection you got.
It's it's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much getting there. But I've got more at the other one, in the other one, in behind. But yeah, this is all just like my punk rock stuff.
That's
Everything
just
else,
that's just punk rock.
that's just punk rock. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
everything else, well, punk rock. There's some hip hop down in that little corner, and then yeah, all the 7 inches are over there, and all the music books and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, not much of anything. How about you?
Not really much either. It was just planning for this today, and then that's about it. Just emails and nothing too crazy, really. Like
Nice.
that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
I've got podcasts I should be editing tonight, so we'll see if I get to that after this. But I'm pretty damn lazy with them, so yeah, you know how it
Well,
is. It's
yeah,
like,
it's like a podcast. Like you don't have an editor. You're just editing it yourself, and it's just like, oh, it could be long, it could be short. Who knows, right?
and I mean, most of mine go for about an hour.
Yeah.
Like I just talked to Kate from Tsunami Bomb last night.
Mm,
And I'm going to do a whole series on all of them. So I'm just looking now. I've talked to their bass player, Dominique. And I've talked to Kate. I've got one with Oubliette next week. And then I've got two others that I got to do. And then that's a month and a week of podcasts. So perfect.
nice. You're just booked up basically all this week and the next 2 weeks, probably.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I try to do one or maybe two a week just because, I mean, talking for an hour gets tiring after a while, and especially the one yesterday, she was on the West Coast. So we did it at 7:30 her time, so it was 9:30 here, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's so late." Okay, whatever. Fine, let's do it. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
just talked to a photographer. I think it was 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and she was West Coast. She was Vancouver too. So it was like early, or yeah, it was late here. So it was like 5 o'clock here and like 2 o'clock over there. So it's like yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those things. I try to fit it in after work because on weekends I don't want to do anything. So, yep.
I get that. Cool.
Your shots from Division look great.
Yeah, everyone's been telling me about Division and everything. I'm like, they turned out good. I thought. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, for what we
I
got.
I was happy with. I mean, it's weird with True North. I'm never. Sometimes I sent them I think 30 photos, and I'm like, why did you pick these one? Okay, whatever. You
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Like,
How do they pick? They just pick them. They don't like you don't pick.
I don't pick or anything. No, I
Ah.
just kind of I send out of the 500 or 600 that I took. I sent them like 30 ish, and then they picked one that I knew they would because it was a great shot. But I'm like, those other one, okay, whatever. But cool. It's not my job to do the marketing. I just take the photos.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the same thing for me when I do, I guess, publications. It's like, okay, here, send this off. Maybe this one, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's the free work, Dwayne.
I mean, it's no different for the paid work. It's
Well, yeah.
you just give it to them and you hope. I mean, I could cut it down from 30 to 15, but also I'm like, these are my favorites.
Yeah,
I would post all of them. So
same here. Like, it's from a select catalog that you got. Like, yeah, you got to pick at least some, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and my event tomorrow will be interesting.
Interesting?
It's just cat and nat at the
Okay.
Burt. It's fine. I don't know. I haven't been given any restrictions other than I've got to shoot from the soundboard, so I'll bring the big lens. But I don't even really need it because the 70-200 is fine from back there.
Yeah.
But if I want to get close-ups of them, and then I've got to send them my best 5 to 10, and then True North has to send it to their management to get approved, and then, yeah. It doesn't happen that often, but the odd time that happens.
Yeah. That's not fun. That's not fun.
No, like Brian Adams, I had to do that. Maximum of 12.
12?
He approved, no, maximum of 15. He approved 12 of them. So I'm like, I'll take that average.
That's
I'm
good.
with that.
Yeah. At least you got, yeah. I don't know what the percentage is at, but yeah.
No, I don't do math.
I don't do math either.
We'll call it 80%. That's good enough.
Exactly. So, well, how did you get into photography, Dwayne, basically?
That's a long story. Well, not really a long story, but yeah, I got into it I used to take photos with kind of just like a disposable at shows with like a disposable camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the photo. I still have it kicking around here somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I know I have it. And it was of Tom of Gob, and he was wearing a sombrero. And I got a great photo from a little crappy point and shoot. And then I just was like, maybe I should start taking photos. So then I ended up buying, which I also still have, a little Rebel film camera.
Ooh.
And then I got my first digital was a Canon 10D, I think. Yeah, it was Canon 10D and then a Canon 40D. And then it just kind of kept going from there. That was before anybody really cared if you showed up to shows with cameras and stuff.
Yeah, back then, yeah.
Yeah, and just kept shooting and shooting. That was in Saskatchewan, not here.
Oh.
So I'd have to, we'd go up to shows in Regina. I'd just bring my camera. I'd shoot it. Then I started putting on shows, and then I didn't shoot it because then I was busy doing other things, like not losing all my money.
Well, yeah, because we're photographers. We lose money, but you probably have a stable job, though, at least.
Yeah, back then, definitely. I worked for the city of Estevan, so I was making decent money, so it didn't matter too much. But still, I want to lose money, but it happened occasionally. So, yeah, that's how I got into it, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just led to here. And then I was working for the city. No, that's a lie. I was working in the oil field, making really good money. And I just wasn't loving it. And I was still, at that point, me and my roommate were like, I hate saying this because it's not as bad as it sounds, but it's what we were doing. We were breaking into old abandoned houses.
That's most funnest, though, Dwayne.
Yeah. And by breaking in, the doors were open. We didn't break anything.
Yeah.
We just went in and took photos and just kind of did that. And then I was like, you know what? I want to go to photography school. So moved here 15 years ago. Went to Prairie View and been here ever since.
Nice. And the rest is basically history, I guess, right? Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I started or continued to go to shows here, take photos. Like I said, I can't remember when I started shooting at the bigger venues, but I think one of my first shows I shot here was either at the Albert or it could have been the Park Theater. I can't remember. It was probably the Albert though.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing the Real Mackenzies at the Park Theater before they even had the wood. I don't know what they're called. The wood things up on the stage.
Yeah.
So it was just a big open, huge stage. So
okay. Yeah. Because they've done so much renovations at the park.
Yeah. And I mean, Eric keeps that place constantly moving, evolving, changing. It's gotten bigger and better every iteration it's been so far. Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite venues when it was before the Garrick and then Garrett closed, and then
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say we have bad venues here. Some are, I'll call them challenging venues, like places like the Daughter. It's tough to shoot in.
Yeah.
But I love going there because it's always smaller shows and the crowd's super into it. But yeah, the Park's definitely one of my favorite. Obviously, the Burt and Canada Life Center are great because production is usually very high. And then Pyramid's usually pretty good. The Albert, I haven't. Yes, I have shot at the Albert since it's reopened. It was just as challenging as it was back when the Albert days too.
With all the pillars and everything, right?
With all the pillars and just the low light, and if they're so close to the light at points, so it's like exposures are all over the place, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah. It is what you get from a small venue and no lighting crew, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, I actually just had someone message me on one of my social media channels, and they asked if they could be basically like an assistant or a second shooter with me at like any of the Burt or Canada Life shows. And I'm like,
I don't know about that.
I'm like, that's not really how this goes. I get approved through promotions, or the marketing team does, and then they let me know what I'm approved for. So I don't really have I don't have any use for an assistant or a second shooter because it's not really a thing.
Yeah, that's strange.
But I'm like, my best advice to that person was honestly, shoot shitty shows, shoot hard to shoot venues, because it will teach you so much. And then when you get a chance to shoot a high production show, it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yep.
It's so much easier, other than your exposures can be really all, well, we were just at that Division show.
Yeah, Division show, yeah.
That lighting was
nuts.
All over the place.
Yeah, like that was probably my first show that I'm like, do I have to have my ISO this low? In a while. I'm like, why is this? Like, it was great lighting, but it was just so much.
Yeah, because like there'd be points where, because I was shooting around, and I don't like getting techie, but I always start like around 3200 ISO, and then if it's a really bright show, I'll dial it down. But this one, I was just like, I just kept it at 32, and I just dialed up my shutter speed. But then when the lights like went down, it had to like go down again. Like that was a tough one.
Up, down, yeah.
Yeah, because there was a lot of hard backlighting. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, especially. Well, even then, I just did Alan Raymond just last night, and that was just dark, like dark lighting. And it was like, okay, cool. Bring it up as best as we can for ISO and shutter a little bit, but even then, it was just like, it was tough. But
yeah, I just saw Joey's shots from that, and it looked pretty cool. She just shot Andy Schaff for me.
Oh, okay.
A little bit ago, and and I knew this was gonna happen. It was a really dark show, because when I shot him at the Park Theater, it was all backlight. There was no front of house. It was all backlight, and she killed it. She got great photos because they did have some stuff from the side where it was like little splatters of light and stuff.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nice. So you've been doing photography thing for so many years. What's it like seeing new people getting into it, Dwayne?
I love it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's nice to see, because I mean, I'm 43. I've been doing this since I was, professionally now 15 years, I guess. But I've been shooting shows since my early 20s, so I've been doing it for over 20 years. And it's great. I haven't had too many bad experiences with new people coming in. There definitely are some, what's a nice way to put this? Some pit etiquette that needs to be taught to some people, and I get it. It's your first couple shows. I understand it's fine, but like stuff like, don't do the big like Hail Mary thing the whole set. I've done it. I will probably do it again.
That's the best part, though, Dwayne. Just doing.
Yeah, it's. I actually have a funny story about that. I was shooting Silverstein when they were at the Garrick. I think it might have been one of the last times they were here. And this person kept doing that, and they just kept ruining. All I got was this like silhouette of a camera and an arm holding it up
The whole entire time.
The whole entire time, the whole
God.
entire set of the one band. It wasn't Silverstein, but it was. I don't remember which band it was. So finally, I won't lie, I had partaken in a few adult beverages, and I got close to them, and they put it up, and I just pushed the camera down, and I'm like, "Would you fuck off?" I'm like, "You are ruining every one of my shots with your hand in it." And then I just kind of walked away, and as I walked away, I'm like, "Huh, I wonder if that was a tour." Yeah, that was a tour photographer.
No.
But honestly, you should know better than that.
Well, yeah.
You go to enough of them. Like, I know especially tour photographers feel, I mean, they're there to do their job, and they obviously come before us, but it's like, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to get the best photos possible. But like, you get to shoot after my 3 songs. So maybe wait till after 3 songs to do that. Exactly. And then go crazy, because then no one can say anything. But, no, it's great to see more people getting into it. It's really great to see more female identifying people into it, because it's much like a lot of band stuff. It's a lot of male driven stuff. It's nice to see people of color getting into it, because it's, from my experience, it's a lot of white folks that are doing it. True. So seeing any of those folks in there and doing it and enjoying it, I love it. I love seeing what the kids are doing. And like, because I'm kind of a traditionalist when it comes to photos. Like, if I could honestly shoot everything in black and white, I would do that, because the edits don't change. It doesn't go out of style. Like, you look at a good photo of like Elvis back in the 50s, it's still a good photo. True. Like, a good photo is a good photo is a good photo. Whether you're throwing weird edits on it, or you're using prisms, or you're doing whatever, I mean, that's cool. And if that's your style, that's wonderful. But I'm like, you can also do all that post, which is really nice now. You can throw all that shit on top of it, so you're not ruining the photo. Because I couldn't imagine getting this amazing photo and having a prism up and being like, oh, what if I just wouldn't have done that and just did it in post later? But
see, I do prisms, as you know, but I'm terrible at Photoshop, so that's why I'm terrible at post. So that's why I just grab all the doohickeys and everything, and it's also easier for myself. I feel like.
And I mean, I get that. I've often thought about grabbing a prism and trying that. You also seem to use it sparingly, which is kind of what I like about your photography. Yeah. It's not all that, or it's not all fisheye, or it's not all flash. It's kind of like, it's a mixture of like A, B, C, D, E, and it's like, you just mash it all together, and it's like, it works very cohesively.
Yeah, and experimenting. I do experiment a lot with it, just to see, what works, what doesn't, maybe change it up. I try for every at least show to do something different at least. Have
you ever done it where, because like, how many lenses do you have? That you would shoot
mainly now it's like maybe 3, maybe 2.
Okay. Lenses? Have you ever, and I've done this to a few shows, not anything that I'm getting paid to do, because I don't feel comfortable doing that. I know I'd get a good shot, so it doesn't matter. But have you ever like challenged yourself to use a single focal length the whole night?
No. Well, I think that, what is it? Not the DBSN one, but the little TJ one I did, basically. It was It was just basically my 85 the whole entire night. Mm-hmm. I did, and then maybe the 50. That's about it, because I forgot they didn't, like, you mentioned, front of house and everything with that one, and I'm like, I forgot to bring my 135, but then it was just basically my 85 that I had, and then my 50. But I should challenge myself, like you said, just do like one focal length the whole entire night.
And especially if you just bring, like, I've done that a few times with my 35. And like it really forces you got to get close. I mean, you can get the wide shots. The wide shots are kind of the easy ones to get with stuff like that. But having just a 35 and having to get like super close can be it. I mean, depending what you're shooting too, because like if it's a hardcore show, you're in it. If it's like something like a jazz fest or a folk fest show that's a little quieter, you're probably going to get some dirty looks from the peanut gallery that's watching the show.
That's the best part, though. You get the experience out of it.
Yeah. Oh, I some of those shows that are very quiet. I'm very happy now that my new cameras have the silent shutter. Ooh. Because I won't get the look over and I'm like, I'm just doing my job. I'm sorry.
I wish I had that.
Oh, although it does, like, it won't. I actually just found out that it won't trigger my Godox flash triggers.
Oh, really?
On silent photography, which I'm like, well, that's weird. And it tends to up the banding of LED lights a little bit more. So I'm not sure what changes, but yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that's strange. Like, I played around with the God X's a little bit, and they're nice. Like, they're beauty. I love them flashes.
Those are for weddings, those are my go-to flashes. It's sure beat having to like haul light stands and alien bees and all that stuff. And they throw enough light, like not a ton of light, not like my alien bees would, but more than I need in most circumstances, unless I'm shooting in like the Human Rights Museum, because then it's like it's just a big black empty space that just sucks the lighting up if you're trying to bounce it anywhere.
Yeah. How'd you get into wedding photography?
So I went through photography school. Wasn't really sure what. I knew I liked taking photos of bands, but I was kind of realistic in that respect, knowing this isn't going to pay my bills. Like it just isn't. Unless you're one of the lucky ones and you live somewhere that's not here. Because I don't think any band photographer that just does band photography or videography here that makes their living solely on that. I know
no one that I know so far.
No, I know other people that it's like different income streams, but not. I don't think I know anyone here that does that. So I went through photography school, and then I just kind of enjoyed taking pictures of people, more so couples. And then I did my first wedding, and I don't ever want to show it to anyone again because it was back in, oh God, when it would have been the late 2000s, early 2010. I can't remember when, but it's not good. I should revisit it and maybe see if like slap some different edits on it, because everything was hyper saturated, very contrasty, a lot of like tilted horizons. It wasn't not my proudest moments. And I mean, but that's like you said, it's like live and learn. You just screw up and I mean, at that point, that's kind of what was cool. So
back then, yeah.
Yeah. So then, I just kind of kept doing it, and just I eventually linked up with a company here called Camp Photography, and I was doing second shooting with them for a good long while, and then I started booking weddings through them, and then I moved. Then his wife came back into. She took a little time off because they had 2 kids. She kind of wanted to get back into it. So the way it worked was the first photographer would book the weddings. The second one, who is me, got kind of, I don't want to call it the leftovers, but the extra ones. Yeah. And so then when she came in, it was he booked it, and then she booked, and then I would be third. So I'm like, I think this has ran its course. It's fine. Like I kind of want to work. At this point, I didn't have a full-time job, so I was like, photography was everything that was paying all the bills. So I'm like, okay, then I was talking to my friend Melissa, and she's like, hey, do you want to? I'm like, absolutely, yes. So I've been shooting with Sugar and Soul Photography now for the past 4 years, I think. Maybe more. Could even be 5. I'm not totally sure, but
you should have a party for your 10.
What's that?
You should have a party for your 10-year anniversary.
Oh my God. Once I figure out when it is, yeah, it'd be. I always go by in my closet somewhere. There's the poster that I graduated from Prairie View in, and that's how I always remember what year it was, because I can never remember when I actually graduated from Prairie View. So, but yeah, and I still do them on my own. I shoot them for friends, the odd clients that kind of come in, but I'm more focused on like events, commercial stuff now. And then I just shooting for Melissa. It keeps me very, very busy in the summer. So
nice.
So yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, it very much, shooting concerts very much prepared me for shooting weddings, which some people might be like, what are you talking about?
No, that makes sense. A lot of people have told that for myself as well too, because the lighting situation, right?
Yeah, and you really have to know how to pivot and like pay attention to everything around you, because if you're not at a show, you either miss the shot or you might get a foot in the head or whatever. So same thing at a wedding. It's like you kind of, once you do enough, you kind of know where to look and you know what's coming up. But just being able to be like, oh, it just started raining and now we've got to move inside. Now I've got to make this look good. And okay, I'm freaking out on the inside, but I can't show anybody on the inside, on the outside.
Yep. I feel that because I'm doing my first wedding this year, Dwayne.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I'm so excited, as you can tell. It's great. Yep. And I'm the single photographer for it, so it's even more better.
It'll be good. It'll be fine. You'll just start shooting. And have you shot their engagement session yet?
No, nothing.
Okay. Is this like friends of yours?
It's a friend of mine. They just asked me. They've already gotten engaged, so it's the actual wedding.
Oh, okay.
So
my advice to you, take them out.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot one for fun, even if they want them, great. If they don't want to use them, great. But that's one of the things I like about shooting engagement sessions is you get to see kind of how the couples interact with each other, how they are around each other, if they're super awkward when they're like kissing in front of a camera or if they're pretty chill with it. And then it's like, okay, now I got the feeling. Then they get the feeling of it too, because you put me in front of a camera, I'm the most awkward dude ever. I don't know what to do. Like I'm just gonna sit there and do that. That's it. Because
no, you're not camera or photogenic.
No, maybe I'm photogenic. I have no clue, but I'm getting married this year, and we've got a good friend or an acquaintance. Yeah, he's a good friend. Doing our photos. Who doesn't normally do weddings ever. Because he does. Do you know Colin Corneau?
I've heard the name.
Okay. He does, his photography is beautiful. He does incredible stuff, but most of his stuff is concentrated on street work.
Okay, maybe.
So his street photography is incredible. His portraits and commercials and stuff are also... Sorry, that was weird. I was reading emails that popped up. I'm like, why is this here? But his stuff is really, really good. So, and we only need someone for like 3 hours.
Oh,
so I was like, I really love Colin's stuff. I like his style. I like him. And he could literally just come hang out and me and April would just be goofs and do our thing. And I 100% trust him to catch everything. So
nice.
So yeah, that's how I got into weddings. And then I just continue to keep doing them.
Exactly. Nice. What was 5 things you didn't know when you first did your first wedding shoot, and now it's basically a breeze for you, you think?
Oh God, 5 things I didn't know. That's Mikey, that's a long time ago. 5 things I didn't know. Lighting was a big one.
Yeah.
I knew a basic kind of lighting that I will use still occasionally now, and it's basically just blast, like have the flash right at their head and then triggering it in the front. And so you get the nice like backlighty thing. One of my friends who I had second shot a few weddings with him had kind of showed me that trick, and I'm like, oh, that cool. looks really cool. So I'll bust that out every now and then, but I don't shoot like that too much anymore. So lighting would be a big one. Posing or prompting, if you want to go that way, because that's kind of like a pose will turn into a prompt, will turn into us laughing and being silly. That's 2. Oh, what else didn't I know? Well, how to edit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The editing, I mean, also the software has got incredible where you can, well, now I don't have it, but I know there's AI programs out there that will call your weddings, which like you put in 5,000 images, they'll sort down to however many you want within like half an hour.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, which is great if you're doing 30, 40 weddings a year, and you can just plug that in and go to town, and it keeps them all, but it separates them into like sharp images and it just kind of learns what you like, and then it just gets smarter and smarter. And I'm like,
you got to invest into that, Dwayne.
I'm like, I wonder if I could use that for shows. And then I'm like, no, I want, when I take the shot at a show, I know I'm like, that's it. I hope I got focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was it. There's a couple of those at that division show. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
and
same.
Then I got back to it, and I'm like, oh shit, it focused too low. Because he moved around so much.
I know, right? A lot of those rappers, hip hop artists just like to just jump.
Oh yeah, there's been a few that they've like literally they run to one side of the stage, stop, run to the other side, stop, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and like just blast it once you come over, and then use the long lens, get you over there. But yeah, they tend to move. I mean, sort of punk bands, really, I guess. But
yeah, but like if it's a packed stage, though, then it's not really, right?
Yeah. And maybe this will be number 5. I don't know. It's honestly just how to like interact with people.
Okay.
It's just like learning how to talk to them, how to hang out with them, how to be their good friend for 8 hours, and then you may or may not ever see them again. But yeah, those are the big things. Other than that, the camera stuff was already in my head. And I guess the other one is like, it's okay to fuck up. Not the whole thing, but to screw up something.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, that didn't work. And then just go on and don't do it again.
Yeah, that's understandable because you're learning and trying out things, what's working, and you're just starting out a wedding, right?
Yep. So yeah, those would be probably the 5, I guess.
Yeah, that's understandable. So you're doing concerts and music and everything now, and so what do you do for your day job, I guess, instead? Because that's all, I guess, side stuff. Hustle.
Yeah, like I mean, honestly, weddings still probably pay me more than I make at my full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
But I got right now I'm working at it's an overarching kind of thing, but I work for Warehouse One and Bootlegger, and I do all their e-com photography. So it's still photography adjacent.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I'm doing. And I got that job during whatever. It's still during COVID. We're not going to, whatever. It is what it is.
It's still COVID. Yeah.
It's still COVID, but I'll say in the height of COVID, I had got the job because I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to, do anything because they basically locked the photographers down, and they're like, nope, you're done. You're not allowed to work. We'll give you the CERB that you got to pay half back later. And so whatever. So I had a nice few months where I had absolutely nothing to do. And at that point I had been doing photography, full time for like 10 years.
Wow.
Like no other jobs, just whatever. So then one of my friends who works in a different department there told me about this job, and I'm like, I could do that. Like, yeah. I think it would be fine. And it was a full-time temporary. And then the person I was covering quit. So they offered me the permanent job for Warehouse One. And then the e-com photographer for Bootlegger quit. And they're like, hey, do you want to do this? Both of them. Yeah. Like, yeah, that would be great. And I honestly didn't think I was going to be there this spring, I think. Will be 2 years that I've been there. And I didn't think I was going to be there that long because I was like, okay, once, COVID's whatever over and I'm back doing weddings and everything, it's great to, do nothing Monday through Thursday and then just work Friday, Saturday, the occasional Sunday. But the people there are just so incredible and the work is fun and it's challenging, even though it's e-com. There's some other stuff that I do. So it's been great. And I'm like, maybe do I want to take a step back from weddings or just kind of be like, I only want 10 this year. That's it.
Yeah.
And just enjoy summer and just kind of slow it down a little bit. So yeah, I do all the e-com photography for Warehouse One and Bootlegger.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Cool.
And then shoot, shows sometimes 3 or 4 times a week. Then weddings this summer wasn't as busy as last summer because everyone was catching up from.
Really? I thought this summer would be more, actually.
Nah, it's not too bad. Like, I'm still very busy. Like, I'm still shooting at least 3 weddings a week, or a week, not a week. 3 weddings, 3 weddings a month. So I don't have much of a summer.
Okay.
But
that's whatever. Good though, because even then, like, summer here is pretty dead so far as we're doing.
Like spring and fall are the big touring times.
Yeah.
So, and then it's just like all the local stuff and all the big festivals and whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How'd you get into like music in general? Like what got you into music?
I mean, I always kind of liked music. Mm-hmm. I can't really remember. Like, I know growing up, it was all country because we lived on a farm in Saskatchewan. So it was AM radio. That was it. That was all in the tractor, in the trucks. That's the only thing those things would pick up. But like my very first concert ever was Tim McGraw, Little Texas, and Black Hawk. Still love this man right here. Love Garth.
We love it.
And then I kind of started getting into like harder music through my cousin. He was like, we'd go visit them and he'd be playing like AC/DC and I'm like, oh, this is good. I can fuck with this. This is all right. And then it wouldn't be until like 94, like when Green Day became Green Day.
Yeah.
That's when I went down the rabbit hole that is punk rock and haven't really gone back since. I mean, my musical tastes
has shifted over the years.
Shifted and expanded, and I'm trying to keep like explore and finding new music because Mikey, as you get older, you will find this out. You don't really, once you have those things that you loved when you were younger, you just keep listening to them.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
Like, even though like Propaganda's put out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
like 8 or 9,
8 albums, I'll still like and I love them all. They're all very good, but I'll go back to like the first 3.
Okay, that's constantly. Good to know. That's good to know when I'm older.
It's one of those things. It's just like So I've been trying to like find new bands and find new music. Like I'm going to Pooza Fest this year, and I don't know. I know a few of the bands, like the Flatliners are on there. A band called Dead Fucking Last, which I'm very, very excited to see. But other than that, I'm just going in and being like, I'm gonna treat this like folk fest, and hopefully I find
some new bands.
A band here, a band there. Last time I was there was a band from Italy that like blew my mind, and I was just like, why is there only like 30 people in this club right now? They're like, this needs to be full. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into music. And I did play, like, I say this on my podcast all the time. I played organ for like 4 or 5 years.
And you stopped?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Why?
I hated practicing. I won a couple competitions. It's just funny when I interview musicians and it's like, oh, what was your first instrument? And usually it's piano. And I'm like, yeah, I played a fucking organ.
But that's amazing though, Dwayne.
I could have played in Rammstein or something, maybe. That,
No, I could say, I played the trombone when I was in high school, and that was...
I played sax too.
Okay, so we're good.
So I kept it, like, I've always been kind of musical, but I've never, like, been in a proper band or anything, so...
Hey, you still got years left, Dwayne. You could still pull up that organ one of these days on a show and be like, yo, we're gonna bring Dwayne Larson on the show and bring that...
That would be so bad.
I want to see it one of these days. Come on.
I can maybe play like on a piano. I can maybe play like hot cross buns or something. Like that's how much I've forgotten about it.
No.
Like, is
there any other instruments you could play?
What's that?
Is there any other instruments you could play?
No. Like I said, I played saxophone in high school for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to have that sound bite. I can blow into a saxophone tube and I can make it squawk. Wow, there's a sound bite right there too. But I there's no way I could pick it up and play it and remember it ever again.
That's it. We're making a petition for Dwayne to do organ and sax.
You want an organ recital, do you?
Yes, yes. That's my one goal from you at this point. From knowing you on now, we just want one performance from you.
Just one organ solo.
Just one organ solo of hot cross buns. We're good.
Then I can be like, I'm officially retiring from professional music.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As long as one person pays to get in, I'm a professional.
Okay, I'll rent out just the handsome daughter just for you. I'll rent out an organ just for you.
Oh my god, that would
just
be
for this.
Funny, but not.
It would be amazing though. You just do one song only, Dwayne. Like I think a lot of people would actually show up for that. Honestly,
they might.
It's Winnipeg,
As long as there's something weird to do, we're gonna do it.
Exactly.
Probably.
It's probably in the middle of a Tuesday, Monday. Why not? What's your favorite artist you got to photograph of all the years you've done photography, Dwayne?
I hate when people ask me that question because there's so many different reasons for different artists and why they may or may not be my favorite. The two that are tied for my favorite, because like people always ask, what's your favorite show to shoot? And I'm like, or show I've shot. And I'm like, it's the two that come to mind are Rammstein and the first time I shot Slipknot. Those two, because I was like, there was so much going on, especially Rammstein with all the pyro. I've got so many incredible photos of them. But other than that,
if you want, you could even look at your catalog if you need to.
Oh my god, that would be pulling. I've got one hard drive that has all my high res photos on them.
That's smart. I should do that actually.
But I've got like 10 other hard drives with all double backed up that have all my raw stuff on it. I think would probably still be any time I get to shoot Propaganda.
Yeah.
I love that band so much, and they brought so much joy to my life. And they're super sweet guys, super sweet people, that I just love shooting them, getting maybe a little buzzed.
Yeah.
And if not, just being buzzed on the band and just loving like every single song, knowing every song, especially now living in Winnipeg for as long as I have. Propaganda fans in Winnipeg are like no other fans. They go hard. So just being in that room is probably one of my favorite things, or why they're my favorite band to shoot. Yeah. Probably.
I'm trying to think for myself what would be my favorite one to shoot, because I've done quite a bit the last couple of years.
I got a better one for you. What's the one you didn't think you'd ever get to shoot?
Oh. Honestly, I would say the recently was the DVSN one, because that was actually troublesome trying to get into that, because it was last minute emails of so many people of getting that one in. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get this one. Okay, cool. So be it. Yeah. Right? I'm like, whatever. And then we got it like last minute. They were like, oh, you're maybe on, but you're maybe not on. Or it was back and forth of it. So that was one I was surprised that I actually did get in. So that one, but yeah, that's
I think the biggest band for me like that would be U2.
Ooh.
When they were here.
Was that troublesome though, for that one?
I don't know who I shot it for. I can't for the life remember me how I got in, but I got in their mind. I didn't have to sign anything. And then the second one would be, oh crap, it was right in the top of my head. U2. When I got to photograph Barack Obama.
Oh,
when he was here.
Ooh.
I was the only photographer approved to take photos.
That's nuts.
And I had to give them to all the publications throughout Winnipeg. So that was that was so stressful. Really? And just the fact it was the former president of the United States. So like, I'd be very interested to know what was checked out about me.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. Like, only like they didn't bring in free press. It was just you.
Like, because I would have had to have been vetted at some point.
Well, yeah, you had to do some kind of background check of you, right?
Yeah. And yeah, I was literally the only person in there, and I had my 300 2.8 on because I'm like, they just said like be discreet.
Oh, so you couldn't get up close with it, right?
See, and that's what I thought. But then I talked to like kind of the guy that was my handler, and I'm like, he's like, yeah, you can go like right up to the railing, but you can't go in front of the railing. I'm like, what?
That's strange.
So then I got real close to Barack Obama, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. These are probably like the most expensive seats. And I shot his 30, 45 minutes, however long he was here for. That was a huge one. I never thought I'd get to shoot a photograph a former president.
Yeah, that's probably up your list. Wow.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of restrictions, I guess, for that one? You had to sign and everything for that one?
No.
Really?
Nothing.
I'm surprised on that, actually. You would think so, right? Yeah. Of all the bands you shot and everything, you have to sign this away, but not former president. Wow.
Yeah, and the other one that blew me away like that was Taylor Swift.
No, actually, recent years, a lot of people have been having that.
Oh yeah, no, this was
back then, right?
On her Red tour.
Okay.
I assume. I don't know her.
Logistics
eras. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I covered it for the country station here.
Oh.
And they got me in, they got me accredited, and I went and photographed it, and Ed Sheeran was opening, and so I've got photos of Ed Sheeran before he was like Ed Sheeran. So
nice.
Yeah, and I didn't have to sign anything for that. So my photos are my photos.
I love those shows when you get your photos. Lately, it's been a lot that for me. Like lately, it's just been just photos, no release, which is great. You can do what you will with them, which is amazing. What are 5 bands, artists you hope to get to photograph in the next 5 years, Dwayne?
Green Day is the top of the list, hands down, 1,000%. I've seen them probably 5 or 6 times, met 2/3 of them.
Because they've been here quite a bit, right?
Yeah, the last time they were here, we had heard a little story that their roadies were doing a Misfits tribute thing at the Albert.
Ooh.
So I told my friend, I'm like, listen, we're going because this is something Green Day would do. Be like, our roadies are playing. And because they've played the Albert before they were like
Green Day.
The level they are. Yeah. And so I'm like, I could see them like being like, yeah, our roadies are playing. And then they just show up and play a surprise set. Like, that wouldn't have surprised me. It wasn't. It was their roadies were doing a shitty Misfits tribute. But Mike Dermott and Trey Cool both were in the Albert just hanging out. So Green Day's hands down number one. Like the other ones would be bands no one's ever heard of, like the Mr. T Experience.
Yeah, I would know, but
they're an older, like early 90s pop punk band that I just want to see live. So I want to photograph said thing. I'm just trying to think of bands that I haven't photographed. Snoop would be cool.
Snoop would be cool. I'm just surprised you haven't got.
I've seen him twice, but haven't photographed him yet. And in that respect, Ice Cube, would be cool too.
That would be cool.
Garth Brooks.
Oh, really?
I'm
surprised about that.
That he would be right under Green Day, but Garth Brooks. Because when he was here for those 4 shows, I went to 2 of them. I actually met him. I shot like a meet and greet for True North. But I didn't get to shoot him in show. So it'd be Garth.
Neat. I would say for myself it would be Nickelback. Of course, Nickelback up there because it would be full circle moment for me because Nickelback was show I brought my little PowerShot camera and just photographed them like from start to end basically. So it'd be like, oh cool, possibly get the photograph this year. Maybe, we'll see. But them and then Breaking Benjamin will be one. And then you wouldn't know them, but As Everything Unfolds, they're like a UK metal band and everything. And then I would say Billie Eilish would be one.
That would be a great show.
Yeah.
Oh man, now it's just like Gaga would be
right.
Like I shot her meet and greet. And I met her. I got to see the show, but I wasn't allowed to take photos. And every little set area she was in was lit perfectly and just looked incredible. And Gaga would definitely be one.
Insane. Well, yeah, she's done amazing. Well, even Katy Perry has done like stuff like that too, like great stage presence and like stage level equipment.
Yeah,
I'm terrible, but and then last one would be like Thrice, probably would be a good one. So what do you want to accomplish when it comes to, I guess, photography in general, Dwayne?
I mean, end of the day, I just want to be happy with what I'm doing. And like, kind of like, I want to accomplish the best photo that I can for myself at that point. And I guess also contribute to the Winnipeg music scene.
Yeah.
And like help, continue to document it. And then when, younger people like you come on board and like keep doing the same thing. And then it's just like, we're so lucky now that we can just look back and see other people's work that have come before us. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's gotten better, I think, throughout the years now because there's so many photographers and actually doing the same thing, like photographing it now. Because, like, probably even then, like I would say, even like 4 years ago, maybe well, I don't know, 5 years ago, there was not many photographers unless there was. I didn't know about, but it's crazy to think how much has changed now in the Winnipeg scene for photos in general, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's one fact people should know about photographers, even music photographers, that they might not know about?
Did you say in particular music photographers?
Could be music photographers or photographers in general.
I mean, I would say for music photographers, like, we're not getting paid usually.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it because we love it. So, be cool with us. we're not trying to get in your way. We just want to take photos.
Cool with us. I love.
Just be cool with us. Yeah.
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 I'm fine with that. That's a good answer. Yeah. We're chill. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. What's something you hope changes when it comes to music or music photography, basically?
I mean, just like they continue to keep doing. This is totally gear related, but higher ISOs, higher cleaner ISOs, would be incredible. So like, I couldn't even imagine shooting Tool, but starting at 128,000 ISO and being like, "Yep, we got you," and then it come out and look perfect. That's where I hope it goes, especially for show stuff.
I would think it would get to that point probably in the next like 3 or 4 years. You would think, right?
Should, because I think I've only got up that high a couple of times, and it's worked okay. I wouldn't want to look too closely at it, but
yeah. Well, I shoot a little bit actually at 128. Actually, Dwayne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun a little bit, and then I just go down a couple stops down, but not much though. What's an upcoming show you're looking forward to shooting, Dwayne?
July Talk. Or wait, when is this coming out? When are you gonna drop?
Probably in like, what is it? April 14th.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, no, I can still say July Talk. Yeah, because we're recording this in whenever we are. Yeah, I love those folks. They always put on an incredible show. They're just super sweet human beings. And what else is coming up?
Yeah, for me, it would be Silverstein. I'm so excited about Silverstein coming.
I mean, there's also Sonreal.
That's upcoming, but yeah.
This upcoming. What do we got coming up here?
Let me see.
Definitely Megadeth.
Oh yeah. I still need a request for Megadeth. That's a lot actually that day. There's a couple things going on that day.
Like just the big ones that I can know about and remember, like Megadeth, the Avenged Sevenfold Lexus on Fire show, and then Bruce Springsteen. Hopefully that happens. I'm trying to source a 1 to 600 because I know I'm going to be at the back of the arena. So
yeah, that's going to be tough. Did he announce that he's going to do a second day or no? I guess
I don't think so.
No,
not that I've heard.
But possibly he might. I don't know.
If he did, that'd be amazing.
That'd be great, right?
Get some photos shot, printed, get them back to them, and then maybe I could have one of them. But
hopefully,
yeah. Other than that, I know there's a bunch of like little shows. I'm going to, like I said, Pooza Fest in Montreal, second last weekend of May, and then the weekend after that, I am going to Punk Rock Bowling in Vegas. So those will be good ones too. I don't know if I'm going to try to shoot or if I'm just going to enjoy. But I know there's a lot more that I just don't have in my calendar. I just kind of go day by day. Lagwagon, that's a big one. I think that's in June. I think.
Yeah. Even the Burt Block party actually this year. So the 2 dates so far. I don't know about the other ones, but so far the 2.
I am getting someone else to shoot. Excuse me. I'm getting someone else to shoot the Saturday night, which is the one I want to shoot. I'm shooting a wedding.
Oh, that's Billy Talent one.
Yeah, so I'll be shooting the Friday of the Strumbellas, but either way, the block party's just getting that 3-day pass is so worth it because it's so much fun and the vibe there is pretty cool.
Yeah, I loved it last year when I got to do the Rising. It was so much fun. It was really fun and enjoyable. Yeah, I'm excited to do the block party for Billy Talent one. That'll be fun. And then, yeah, I've never seen the, what is it? Is it Strumbell? Is that going to ask for that one?
Yeah. The Strumbellas.
Yeah.
And Stars. Yeah.
Yeah. That one too. Yep. I'm excited for that. That'd be good. What's a small artist that you've been getting into lately that you wish was like big mainstream level right now, Dwayne?
What are they called? It is a band called Eat Defeat.
Eat Defeat?
I know that sounds like eat defeat, but Eat Defeat. And the album that I have, anyways, it's called I Think We'll Be Okay, and it's just a really, really good album. And I think they're younger. I'm assuming they're a younger, like kind of punk rock band. And I wish they would be a lot bigger, because then maybe they'd come around and I get to see them.
Yeah, right. But no, we love our little bands though. That's what I like about little bands, because then you can just go in those little shows, little venues, and then it's like, okay, cool. We don't have a lot of people coming out, and it's good, but also it's, I guess, bad for the band too, because they need money.
Usually terrible for the band, but then it's just nice if you can then if they come through again and just watching them grow, and then they're playing. That's kind of what happened with me with July Talk. The first time they came here, one of the first times, it was supposed to be at the Albert when it was opening and closing, and then it wasn't open, and they moved the show to Le Garage. So I saw July Talk with maybe 20 people.
That's nice.
And now they're playing the Canada Life Center and the Burt. So it's pretty cool.
It's kind of like full circle moment, I guess, for you. Well, in a sense. Well, for them too. But yeah, that's cool.
And I mean, they're still they're doing amazing touring, but they're still a little band, especially in the US and worldwide. It's they'd also be included in that, because they're just such good people and make incredibly interesting music.
From what I've seen, I've not got to see them yet, but they're really good. Really good. Yeah. What do you want the people to know about you doing? What do you want to shout out? Tell the people what you're doing.
Just be cool with me.
There has to be something, Dwayne.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says "Just be cool with me." I don't know if people want to check out anything that. This is exactly when I should maybe plug my podcast, because I'm a great business person. If people, I do a podcast called "It's a Music Thing." I think, you just put it into any of the streaming things and it'll be there. I run an Instagram called It's a Music Thing MB, if you're looking on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. I post photos occasionally. I'm kind of lazy with it sometimes, but that's where I use it to promote my podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, cool.
That's about it.
Nice.